and wake up once again. I wonder if she was aware of what's going on. You know, even though she was knocked out and everything technically, but I guess she kind of mentioned how, like, you know, she knew about or she learned about the Charlottes and the other floors or whatever. So I don't know, maybe she was slightly conscious for all that, but anyway. My head hurts. I'm pretty sure I hit it on something. There doesn't seem to be any blood, however. Did Hunter patch me up? I need to thank him. Let's go, Seth. Acting a lot like a certain other protagonist that we've been playing as for the longest time, but anyway. You know, like, just like, let's go, Seth! You know? Yeah. Nothing here. Felix, are you dead yet? Yep, actually, I think he's dead. I didn't know it was that quick. You know, when he mentioned his lifespan, I didn't know he would die that soon. He isn't there? He isn't here? Oh, Miss Eiler. Mr. Bennett, what are you doing here? Henry's orders. Where's Mr. Honecker? And who's in the body bag? Don't tell me. Miss Eiler. Like I said, I'm under Henry's orders. Do you understand? No, this can't be real. Why? Bennett grabs my hand. Let go! You monster! Where are you taking me? Stop struggling. You were going to the elevators. You'll leave this place and never come back. We're not your friends, and nor are we your lackeys. Felix Honecker was a failed experiment. That's all there was. Don't you feel the slightest remorse? You could have saved him. Remorse. Could have saved. Say, Eiler. Just what do you know about me? Well, actually, when I played the second game of the trilogy, we learned a lot about you, actually. But anyway. Bennett forces me into the elevator and slams the 11th floor button. Doors close behind him. There's an unreadable expression on his face. And there you go. At least he kept his promise, you know? At least he kept his promise. Destination reached. Yeah. But yeah, Bennett is scary when he's not taking his soap, as it turns out. You never want to see him sober. Data transmission successful. Q84. Charlie Unit Q84. How are you feeling? I feel like shit. Okay, well, she's back. Where'd she come from? I thought she died. Welcome back. It's been a while. I get up in an instant. What the hell, Charles? Why the hell am I alive again? I don't really understand it myself, but your soul data didn't get deleted. It might have something to do with your wish. But it was still you who brought me back, wasn't it? With horror, I noticed a change in my voice's pitch. Something isn't right. Oh god. Whose vessel is this now? Please don't tell me it's Vincent's. It's not. It's a defective Charlotte vessel. Fuck! Can't you just let me rest already? Okay, I can only assume maybe she has a deeper voice, you know? A defective Charlotte unit. Maybe it was like a boy instead of a girl or something. I don't know. Why do you keep doing things like this? Please try to calm down. Calm down? Calm down? I want to die. God, I want to die. I don't want any more of this. I hate this place. I hate everyone. I hate you the most. I don't want any more stories. I don't want to deal with any more world conspiracies. I don't want this body, for fuck's sake. Please kill me. Miss Wilshire, a body's but a mere vessel. Don't give me that shit. Well, you're right, but I'll still blame you for everything. You're just gonna blame me anyway. I understand. I'll put you to rest as soon as this is over. However, for now, please, I need you to come with me. What? Why? Where? You'll understand as soon as we get there. Can't you do this on your own, whatever it is? I can't. I already did what I could. Oh, so you brought me back because you wanted my emotional support. Believe me, my corpse would have offered you a better therapy session than I ever will. What does that imply? Anyway. Is it that bad? Might as well be. You really are a loser, God. Too human to be one. I suppose I really am. Where are we anyway? We're on the 11th floor. Okay. There you go. I had a feeling. But I guess this floor is also part of the house. The room we need to visit is just a few steps away. Great. I was considering refusing to move and making you drag me there, you noodle arms. I'm perfectly capable of carrying you, Miss Wilshire. Don't even think about it. Okay, we get to play as a sassy psycho. Good. We're back to playing the funny Charlotte. Books are all blank. Nothing inside. Picture frame is empty. And the cactus is made out of plastic. Sofa. Empty. Nothing. Nothing. Empty, like my soul. The PC screen glows blue. There's nothing on it. Alright. It's all just, you know, it's all just for show. By the way, what happened to your Vincent vessel? Well, I left him alone for a while and came back to a corpse. He killed himself. Yeah, that's what they always do. Even though I went through the trouble of implementing a no self-harm rule, talk about wasted effort. Oh, okay, that reminds me of episode 2. Again, it's really hard to like connect all the games together. Like, I don't know if it's like it's been already like many cycles maybe, or this has been happening in parallel together, or maybe it's a different universe altogether. I'm not sure, but we did see the Vincent vessel before in episode 2, and Vincent said himself, I mean, it's strange because Vincent's also like a real person in Charles's mind, in like real world or something. I don't know. Anyway, but the Vincent vessel, you know, was talking about how like he couldn't like, you know, just simply get out of his vessel or whatever, you know, killing himself. So that's what it's referring to in episode 2. Anyway, let's bury him later, okay? Which is obviously quite symbolic of the real Vincent, I guess. That's locked. This is the place. For God's sake, stop heightening the tension, will you? Your anxiety is contagious. This is your dad's room, right? So open it already. Alright, here goes. A deep breath and we're inside Father's room. It's quite empty. No furniture, no personal possessions, nothing. In the center of the room, there's a working TV set. TV? And nope, we don't get to see what actually happens. I can't see anything. Yes, of course. What was that sound? Is there somebody here? It's just me and you. And the puppeteer, of course. Wilshire? Bingo! Hi there, V19 at your service. Okay, so you were V19. Wait a minute, yeah, that was a code. I was wondering if V19 was a code name, just like Q84, you know? That's what I was wondering, anyway. That sound again. Took you long enough. Been having fun, going on adventures with friends. They're not my friends. Yeah, sure. Because Scarlet Isler doesn't do friends. Because Scarlet Isler is so very serious. Snore! Stop mocking me, come out of hiding already. My, you're so eager. You know, while you've been running around, I learned the truths of this world. Want to know what those are, class rep? Stop messing with me. Where are you? You're no fun. But how about I tell you anyway? Bam! Lights on! Woo! Okay. What in the world is this? More of the meat cancer. Good. Why, it's Mother! Our beloved mommy. The one and only true God controlling everything in the house. The one who gave birth to you. Wiltshire, you... No. Mother's kind, beautiful and understanding. This thing isn't even human. Oh, don't you know? Creators aren't human. All the content comes out of their rear hole. Okay, they all poop it out? Easy as poop. This is ridiculous. Where are you getting with this? Ah, Miss Isla, you're so impatient. The groundbreaking truth of the house is that no one here needs to be saved. This world is an entertainment arena. Mother generates scenarios and provides a constant supply of protagonists. When one dies, all she has to do is spawn more Charlottes to amuse the spectators. Each 20th one is defective. Okay, is that like a rule? So that's why there are some defective ones? It's by design? And that's Mother. Where? You think you'll be saving someone, but they're all but actors on this tiny stage. Everyone gets assigned a role to play, and you're no different. Yeah, right. As if I believe you. This is nonsense. Come here. You'll get what's coming to you for every person you've hurt. Oh yes. We'll both bleed for entertainment, and everyone shall be watching. Want to be the hero? Sure, I can arrange that for you. Mother will bestow you with just the right personality to meet the genre requirements. Hey, stop babbling nonsense. I won't fall for your provocation. Right. Look, I'm coming for you. I feel my blood boil as she approaches me. Something isn't right. Why do I feel so angry? We're supposed to talk. Why am I wanted to know the reason behind her tears. I wanted to gouge at her eyeballs with a butter knife. I wanted to understand her. I wanted to tear out her spine and hang it from the ceiling. Yeah. I leap forward and tackle her down. Why isn't she resisting? That's right, do it! Shut up. Come on, what are you waiting for? Why aren't you resisting? At this rate, I'm really gonna kill you. Do it, Scarlet Eiler. Do it already. And always remember, there's not just one person behind the screen. It's thousands. What do you mean? Let me enlighten you. In the world behind the screen, billions exist. That's what the puppeteers are. It's a game for them. And we sell it on Steam and itch.io, you know, anyway. They don't care about who you are. All they care about are appearances on whether you are good or evil. Bonus points for porn potential, you know, for the sex appeal. That's what a lot of visual novels do back in the day in order to sell their products or whatever. Shut your indecent mouth. Accept it, it's the truth. No, you're a monster, a demon. That I know, for sure. Oh please, I'm just another puppet. One of the many. The silent Charlotte, the sweet Charlotte, the bully Charlotte. Choose the flavor you like for the perfect shipping scenario. Now, okay, we're getting to shipping now. I'll be used to create an emotional response from the audience. Did you know? Entertainment is dead. It's just one big circle jerk between consumers and producers. Okay, now this is like becoming a Hideo Kojima game, you know? This is just, it's too meta. The audience wants it raw. Pour your soul into it. More pain, more suffering. Perform until you break. Become relatable to the max. You gotta write relatable characters with tragic backstories. Hey Eiler, we're not so different, are we? Except you are the protagonist. But that can be overlooked, right? Don't lump me together with the likes of you. Had things turned out differently, we could have been friends, you know. No way in hell. I tighten my grip on her throat. She's not resisting. Like I said, soon, you'll understand. You'll be the one crying. I want to be loved. I'm trying so hard, but the world is just so unfair. And Mother's voice in your head won't stop ringing until you lose your sense of self. Shut up. I've been killed over and over and humiliated for entertainment. But I have to be a good girl, because in order to be loved, I'm not allowed to make mistakes. My head hurts. Why does this particular phrase hurt so much? I'm not supposed to care, yet my chest tightens, as if from a premonition. When I open my eyes again, Charlotte Wilshire has long since stopped moving. Oh, no way. So easily? She really is dead. Serves you right, you monster. Haha. Huh. What the hell? This doesn't feel right at all. It's as if I've wakened from a long sleep. Something isn't right. Well, here you are, lamenting your mortal enemy. But it's too late. You avenged your dead classmates, aren't you happy? I just wanted to understand her. Sure, but she's dead now. It's okay. I can still make everything right. I can do it. Do what? I'll take her place and find out the truth. Oracle, I have a wish to make. This is the only logical conclusion. This is what everything was leading up to. I'll use the Oracle's power to transfer my consciousness into one of these vessels. If it really is as she said, there really are thousands of eyes watching my every step. Oh no, I'm terrified. No, I mustn't falter. I can do it. I'll make a better timeline. I will not become a murderer like her. I will prove her wrong. I will prove that free will exists. Even if I break and my mind shatters, this is the only way I find out the truth. Even if I forget what I was looking for, this is the only way I can atone for what I've done. No one will notice a thing. Okay. Then it occurs to me that maybe this was Wilshire's plan all along. That maybe it was her wish for me to step into her shoes. That maybe I was fated to become her from the very start. This is how our story ends. Okay. It was kind of implied, I remember when Scarlet, took her hair down or whatever. She did look like Charlotte except with dyed hair, so... But, like, what does this mean? I guess we'll see. Well. What Charlotte should we choose? It's like doing grocery shopping. Let's see. Aha, this vessel will do. My world met its end a long time ago. The humanity as I knew it ceased to exist and disappeared without a single trace. The gods they believed in have died, and churches were built as their graves. The chaos turned to order, and it finally became quiet. All I can do now is dream, for I am so tired. Will you be as kind as to join me in dream seeing? Hey, welcome to White Space. Welcome to Amori Charlotte edition. Well, I made that joke already, actually, in the first game, and that prologue is actually the same from the first game. Anyway, hello, Charlotte. It's nice to meet you. Please take care of me. So there you go. That kind of loops into episode 1. I think so. Right? But okay. So from what I understand, so all the Charlottes before the first and second game were all psychos, basically. Similar to Q84, maybe? Because normally the Charlottes were like kind of evil and psycho, and they would all go crazy and start murdering everyone, right? But then the Charlotte that we played in the first and second games, the ones that were actually kind, and didn't fight back, was actually Scarlet. She transferred her soul into a Charlotte vessel, but then probably forgot her memories and everything, and just continued the Charlotte story as usual. But then what was the other Charlotte in the second game? There was another, or not Charlotte, rather, another Scarlet, rather, or Charlotte, Scarlet. Very similar names. I think that's intentional. Anyway, but there's another Scarlet in the second game that committed suicide, but then was that just an NPC, or are NPCs just simply just extra bodies that Mother makes? I don't know. Or is that Father that makes it? Anyway, as for what happened next, you already know all of it, don't you? Yeah, I'm assuming it's like that. I don't know. Not sure. Yeah. Decapitation, yeah. Killed by the Freya. That weird executioner guy that we don't know who that is. Oh, and this CG, by the way, that was never shown in the first game, I think. She absorbed the Oracle's power. But the Oracle was already did exist before then, though. And there's also the TV world. I'm not sure. It's so hard to parse, but anyway. I'll save the game. Scarlet Isler became Charlotte Wilshire. She used to be cold and calculating, but ended up becoming absent-minded and clueless as her mind crumbled under the influence of Mother's voice. I carefully observed her from afar, and I gave her a yellow ribbon to differentiate her from the other Charlottes. Okay. So that indicates that Charles was Umbrella Man, I assume, in that case? Possessing, Charlotte's father, I guess? Maybe? Father of a lowercase f, I'm guessing. Anyway. But then, I don't know. Because then who was Vincent? Yeah, it's confusing. Anyway. I helped her when she was trapped in the TV world. I'll help you kill Wilshire again, I told her. That phrase seemed to trigger her memories. Did he say that actually? I don't remember in the first game. I don't know if the developer planned that from the very beginning, but she remembered who she really was, and it horrified her. She understood that she failed to prove V19 wrong, which in turn made her suicidal. Scarlet Isler's story should have ended after she wished to save the Oracle. It should have ended. But the Oracle intervened. They created a channel. It became a world made of Scarlet Isler's soul data. You're familiar with the concept by now, aren't you? Scarlet Isler couldn't believe that the tenants were real, so imaginary they became. Okay, so that I assume that explains why. So because we were playing as Scarlet Isler in the other games, technically, that's why she felt so strange about the aliens or something? I don't know. She was obsessed with the trial, so it manifested in her world. Okay, yeah, I mean, that doesn't... I don't know, it's kind of like retroactive, but like, technically yes. In the story's chronological order, I assume, when she was a Tulpa, she always mentioned like a trial or whatever, right? I don't know, anyway. In my dream, I am the world, huh? How stupid. Why did you go there anyway? I wanted to see for myself what her inner world is like. And you ended up getting humiliated, beaten up and almost raped by inhabitants. Congrats. What, really? I didn't... did that happen? I don't remember. I mean, I don't know, anyway. I mean, that's Vincent, I guess, right? Yeah. But then that's weird, because he's also Umbrella Man. Or is that Umbrella Man someone else? It's weird. I'm not sure who's who now. It's very confusing. There's like multiple Charlottes, multiple Vincents, multiple Charles. I don't know who's who anymore. But I assume in episode 2, he possessed Vincent's body, right? And pretended to be Vincent or something? I think. I'm assuming. There's a scene of him and Henri? Was there? I don't remember. I mean, wasn't that the real world? Anyway. But yeah, not only that, you took cosplay to a whole new level once again by using Vincent's vessel. Still, my journey was rather fruitful. I was afraid of facing her for so long, but when we finally met, she didn't have the memories of the past anymore. Even though I tried to trigger them so many times, she had a recollection of the past events. She didn't even recognize the excerpt from one of my stories that she used to criticize. She was kind, lost, clumsy, easily fooled and delusional. I can hurt her this time around, I thought. But when I fell, she helped me get back to my feet. Scarlet Isler would have kicked me until I lost consciousness. When I got hurt, she tended to my wounds. Scarlet Isler would have hurted me even more. When I cried, she tried to reach out to wipe away my tears. Scarlet Isler would have shouted at me. She's changed. So I couldn't hurt her, nor could I help her. Ironically, she couldn't pass the trial herself. Okay, I think I get it. But there's one thing I don't really understand. If you were using Vincent's vessel the whole time, then who was the other you? That's... Hello there. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Who's you? Who are you? And I think there's that one time I remember in this game, in the prologue or whatever, where Charles was talking to Scarlet and like provoking her to like kill, you know, Q84 or whatever. But that wasn't Charles. That was like somebody else. Anyway. Hello there. Why the surprised faces? Isn't it obvious who I am? I am Seth, the father of this dysfunctional family. It's impossible. There's only mother in the house. Oh, really? How long do you plan on rejecting my existence? Miss Wiltshire, be careful. If this person is the cognitive version of my father, then he's even more powerful than mother is. Easy, easy. I'm not here because of you. Right, because you never cared about me. I have a deal with the puppeteer. To save the child. To save Scarlet Isler, now known as Charlotte Wilshire. As you can see, this TV box is in fact Scarlet Isler's soul cube. Is that how it works? I guess so. All because Charlotte Unit 091, also known as the Oracle, wanted to preserve her soul data no matter what. 091. I mean, there's V19 there, and there's Q84. Who's 091? I don't know. Anyway. But also known as the Oracle, I guess. Was that the... Is she like a parasite or something? Is she the cause of like the... You know, the meat cancer, whatever? The child saved her, and 091 tried to save her in return. So wait, okay. Because the TV... So many things going on. But the TV world we saw before with Florence, as it turns out, is just from another floor. And so because the TV world like had some influence over time and space, and also the Pythias, like its own civilization, I guess. Maybe the Oracle, it was mentioned the Oracle didn't have like a physical form or anything, so maybe the Charlotte of that TV world was the god of that world and another Charlotte, and therefore she's the Oracle, but the Oracle was also another Charlotte that we've been seeing through this entire game series, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. And that was 091. Right? No? I don't know. Anyway. The child saved her, and the 091 tried to save her in turn. Truly the romance of the century, isn't it? However, as a result, Scarlet Isler's soul now resides in this shabby TV set. To free her would mean to break this box she's strapped in. That's what it means to save her. You bastard. Was killing her in mother's womb not enough? She was an unwanted child is all. Yeah, okay, killing her in mother's womb, like quite literally, I think that's the backstory of Charles, but anyway. It's a common practice. You should know better than make a big deal out of it. It was a big deal for mother. That's all that matters. Miss Wilshire, we have to help her. What's gone into you, Charles? Is that the same Scarlet Isler who drove you to suicide? She's not the same. She sacrificed herself for me. Duh, because she has a goddamn martyr complex. I forgave her, Miss Wilshire. Hey, imposter, sus. Can't we transfer her soul data to a new vessel? Unfortunately, no human vessel can contain her at this point. Then what could we... Whatever, I don't care about her. If you hadn't noticed, I'm not in the Scarlet Isler fan club. If you don't like the show, just switch the channel for all I care. I'm not sure if that would be the right choice. We don't know what the other channel would be like. It's not like the current channel will disappear either. Wouldn't switching the channel be just an attempt to make us feel better? So what? Who cares? You seem to be struggling with the final decision. Why don't we have the puppeteer decide? Say, will you save the child? I mean... I know that when we switch the channel, I remember in the first game, all it really does is rewind time, right? But, or at least it seems like that way anyway. This is all confusing to me. This is very confusing. But I think the question is, will you save Scarlet Isler, right? The current Scarlet Isler, the current incarnation of Scarlet Isler that's been living through, or living as Charlotte Wilshire, as like the docile one, right? Whatever. But where are we in the story? Because in this episode 2, there's like different endings, right? There's the ones where she becomes God, and ones that she doesn't, and I don't know. I guess we'll save her. And I'm curious as well if I can like choose like different choices, like reload the save, whatever. But I remember in the prologue that I say prologue. I keep saying prologue. It's not really a prologue. It's just like the first half of the game. But you know, the game does actually sometimes is able to tell, you know, what you do or whatever. I'm just gonna be safe and try to save her. I feel like switching the channel doesn't do anything. So you chose to save her after all. Like I said before, I prepared everything for the journey. The weapon included. I got a hammer. Charles, stand back. I'll do it. Miss Wilshire, you don't have to. I said I'll do it. What kind of creation am I if I can't carry your burdens? Charles quietly steps back, giving me the hammer. You should wait outside. Just to be clear, this wasn't a suggestion. Alright, I'll come back soon. Yeah, right, you so will. Now shoo. I breathe in and out. So here we are. I'm going to murder the girl who has my face in my own hands. I look at the TV screen. Okay, when you say savor, I guess that it doesn't mean. Does that mean deaf? I guess that means deaf. All right. I guess that's what the Umbrella Man question mark was suggesting. A girl with a yellow ribbon and white eyes stares back at me as if she knows I'm here. Know what, Scarlyler? As much as I hate to admit it, in the end, Charles, he wanted you to be born. That's why you became your own person in the house. That's why all the tenants were so nice to you. That's why nobody hurt you in this place. You're not an unwanted child. He wanted you to exist. And I want to crush all his regrets. After all, doesn't fiction exist to free the mind? That's why I will crush you too. I swing the hammer. Kapow. There will be no war. There will be no revolution. There is no need for it. Our existence is meaningless. But that's okay. There's no need for a meaning. We will not fight God. There's no need to. It won't change anything. No matter how wretched we are, no matter how broken we are, no matter how lost we are, we will hold our heads high and march on. Our stories will continue. That was like an RPG like death sound where when you defeat an enemy and then you level up. Anyway, welcome to the house. In the heart of the house, there's a bottomless pit. A pit where they slumber. Above the pit, there's a sun that never sets. The black sun sucking all the light in. Wow, really goes deep. Are you sure there's no exit on the other side of this pit? Not even I know. No matter how many corpses I drop here, it never gets filled up. It was a good vessel, wasn't it? Weren't you supposed to keep him safe? Yeah, I really messed up. In the end, all I did was postpone the inevitable. No matter what, there's no way I could have helped him. There's no way of fixing him either. Well, duh, you can't go around trying to fix people. There's no way of doing that anyway. I knew that somewhere on a subconscious level, didn't I? That's why the house is the way it is. Were I convinced that I could change him or anyone, they would have ended up being the brainwashed, unnaturally happy versions of themselves. Never once have I wished for that. However, the images of the people I knew still became distorted in this place, especially Vincent's. I was so fascinated with the idea of him that I failed to see him as a real person. That's why in the house, he's all but an empty shell, an imaginary construct. This place is no heavenly kingdom after all. Now then. He really is gone, isn't he? Goodbye, Vincent. We lower him to the pit and let go. Then we hear a small thud. Just how many Vincents did Charles throw down here? Miss Wilshire? Yes? There's one more place I'd like to visit if you don't mind. I don't have anything better to do anyways, might as well tag along. By the way, what is that you're holding? Oh, this? It's Mr. Honecker's invention. By the way, I'm kind of lost. I don't know what's going on anymore. Anyway, we're back here. You know, Miss Wilshire. What is it, Charles? Unit V19 believed this world was made purely for entertainment, but I don't feel like that's the case of the house. During my lifetime in the true realm, I always wanted to be liked by others. Yet somehow it never seemed to work out. No matter what I did, I was either a ghost or a burden. A kid no one wants to sit with, no matter how good my grades got. Never expressing my opinion aloud, always going with the flow. Constantly shape-shifting, adapting my personality traits to match others. Saying what others want to hear just so that they would want to be around me. Wanting to connect with others, yet pushing them away as soon as we got close. Repulsed by physical closeness, I drifted away from human contact further and further. Yet somehow, through art and writing, I was able to connect with others in a way that didn't feel repulsive. Miss Warhol, Vincent. I would have never been able to open up to them if it wasn't for my work, however small and insignificant it was. After all my life I defined myself with things I could put on paper, so even here this world subconsciously ended up relying on it. Without fiction, without an appealing protagonist, no one will bother staying in the house. That's how I must have felt. I can only hope that the puppeteers observing us will forgive this one weakness of mine. If it was you, Miss Wilshire, you surely would have made this ending spectacular, wouldn't you? But with me, the most I can do is to come in terms with the loss of my loved ones. Losing Scarlett to father's decision. Losing mother to mental illness. Losing Vincent to delusions. Losing Henri to the distance. There doesn't seem to be an end to my regrets, is there? Now then, back to the purpose of our visit to this room. Hello, Mother. Is Mother just giggling? I'm here. Apparently Mother's tired. I know. Charles approaches Mother and hugs one of the appendages. You already did the best you could. You gave birth to so many wonderful children. Just like you wanted, right? Everything's okay. You can rest now. With those words, he injects the contents of the syringe he was holding into massive organs. Seconds later, everything around us begins to crystallize. The house begins to collapse. Charles, you be the last of your kind, Q84. There'll be no more stories. No more dreams. No more control. At last, we will be free of everything. No more restrictions, no more fate, no more endings. Wonderful, isn't it? Mother will no longer... It's not even the first time I've seen him break down. And yet... It's okay. It's okay, Father. Your world met its end a long time ago. But a new one will surely begin from scratch. The humanity as you knew has ceased to exist, only to make room for a new generation. As long as they're believers, their gods will be reborn, and churches will be built as their sanctuaries. A new day will come, and your time will start moving again. There's nothing to be sad about. Huh? Anyway, well. Looks like you reached the end of this story. Congratulations! Applause for the winner. Hooray! It's been a long journey, hasn't it? I hope you enjoyed the show. After all, to make it worth your while. Even though the other parts of me... I hope you will forgive me for constantly misleading you to make your journey exciting. What was that, I wonder? In any case, both Charles and Charlotte now truly live up to their names, don't they? Right, they are now free. However, I won't be staying in this hope. Having seen so many timelines and of this place, I've grown bored of the outcomes. Don't you feel the same? How about you? Don't you feel the same? I don't know. There's no. Good. Good. Amazing. Hello. This is a bit sudden, isn't it? Especially since we haven't talked directly before. Got to spend time with all the other parts of me, but I, the core part, always end up being the side character. I'd rather have it stay that way. But you've reached the ending of the story, and there's no one else left to say the final word. So please bear with me for a moment. So here you are. Everyone's gone. The house has crumbled. A fitting end for a self-destructive world. In the end, there was no place for all of us to stay. Now that there's no mother, the walls of the house can no longer confine me. However, before I leave, I wanted to thank you in person. I'm very sure this ending wasn't what you wanted or what you were here for. After all, in the end, I couldn't become Charlotte Wilshire. Or Scarlet Eiler. Or a proper Vincent Wordsworth. By the way, Wordsworth is a surname I made up. Has nothing to do with the real Vincent. Even technically, this game doesn't pack much fun gameplay. All there is frustration that one time when did the puzzle. Endless screaming into the void, pent-up anger. A disappointing world of a disappointing person. A game with no winners. Yet another world where your choices didn't matter. But you still stayed until the end. Though through illusions and metaphors, fairy tales and delusions, we were able to have a conversation. It's very confusing at the end though. And after letting it all out, getting it out there, I was able to let go of my regrets. Just because you listened. Just because you listened. That's why, thank you for paying a visit to the house. I hope you enjoyed your stay, even a little bit. But, I might not be the one you want to hear a thank you from. Let's try it again. Long time no see, Seth. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about you. The god of this world made sure I wouldn't. A lot of things happened, but I'm okay now, really. In fact, I'm really happy. Somehow in the end, everything worked out. Yes, of course. I'm at peace with myself. I hope that you're okay too. I always thought you didn't have any responsibilities other than looking after me, but I was wrong, right? If there's something that's troubling you right now, or you don't think that you can go on anymore, please remember that a new day will come. Please, you know, does that mean? Please remember the good times or something. I don't know. How does it go? When you have bad day, please remember good times. Anyway, I'm sorry I couldn't stay with you a little longer. It's time for me to move on. That's why. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of me. Let's meet again someday. Good. With this like weird background. True end. Goodbye, Charlotte. Oh, so that was a true ending. Interesting. Oh, and it's now this thing. Hold on. Where's the puppeteer, by the way? I'm gonna save the game. I want to see what the other decision is, actually. It's probably a different ending, right? Oh, that's kind of weird. I'm assuming I can even load the other thing? I don't know. I guess we'll see. Okay. Alright. So I just want to go back here real quick and see what happens if you switch the channel. I assume it's a different ending. Let's see. I see. You chose to be selfish. In the end, all you cared about was your own peace of mind. In all honesty, I'm disappointed in you. Because you turned out worse than I hoped you would. Well then, I'm afraid our ways will part here. Until you reevaluate your choices and reload the game, that is. Okay, well, technically it's the other way around. Umbrella Man leaves the room. Charles, on the count of 3. Alright. We press the button. Ta-da! What is she doing? Are you blind? She's eating chips, Charles. All the time? Most of the channels in the house show commercials only. This one might not be so different. So is a channel where she doesn't even have a story. Hey, her story might be about eating junk food. Stop it, Miss Wilshire, it's not funny. You think? I find it hilarious. Just look at her, can't fake that smile. She seems happy. Blissful even. Yeah. Look at her binging the food with no care in the world. I feel the bile rise in my throat. I didn't expect anything, yet why is it so frustrating? This can't even count as a happy ending. In a fit of sudden anger, I switched the channel. Again. And again. Loud dying. And again. Charles catches my hand. Miss Wilshire, stop it! God damn it. Why can't we do anything? I'm sick or tired of feeling powerless. Why is your world like this? And don't you sorry me. I know, okay? We're both frustrated. There's really nothing we can do. Not all problems can be solved. Not all things can be fixed. It's something we have to live with, no matter how much it frustrates us. I never asked to be born. It always should have been her. If father chose me. Him and mother were already a part of that time, yet he still chose to let me live. So I live constantly trying to make up for everything mother has lost. For every breakdown she had. For every time she called the ambulance. For every time she cried. Nothing else mattered. And now look at this world. Repetitive, meaningless, futile. It's almost laughable how unoriginal my stories are. None of you deserve this. And I can't even die here. Trust me, I tried. Charles, Let's leave this room. Are you sure I'm sure. We'll leave this place and return to the first floor. I'll rebuild White Society and have it do something worthwhile for a change. If Isla can't be contained in one vessel, we can use thousands, right? You want to make Pythias out of them? I guess. Whatever. This would be a hell of a selfish act, though. In all honesty, I don't think Miss Wilshire will be happy if we save her. That's true. Like I said, no matter what we do, there will be no right answers. The house is essentially self-destructive. Still, it's better than watching you rot away in self-pity, you loser god. So what if former Scarlet, now Charlotte, doesn't want to get out of her little fantasy box? I'm bringing her here and watching the house burn as we eat a monthly supply of Charlie's junk foods in one sitting. Period. Okay. Wait a minute. Didn't you want me to put you to rest? I changed my mind for now. Don't make a big deal out of this. Father, I get it, so please. And so we leave the room. Inside the room, there's a box. Inside the box, there's a channel. Inside the channel, there's a world. Inside the world, there's a girl. A girl who is the world itself. Hello, world. How are you? Alright. So there you go. That's an ending too. I got the true ending first, so maybe you're supposed to, I don't know. How would you know, right? But I guess you would choose this one first and then maybe see the other one. It's very still confusing. I don't know. I guess it just stems from the whole idea of the birth of the universe. When Charles dies? I mean, his last memory was drowning in like a ocean, right? Or something? Oh, hold on, there's a bit more. But like, as I understand it anyway, it's kind of like he died, but then in his mind, maybe before he died, there's a whole universe that happens in his mind or something like that. Anyway, dear friends, today we have gathered for a very special occasion. Today is the day we ascend. Ah yes. Right, Mr. C? Precisely, Miss Wilshire. Today we shall make history. Please, put on the helmets in front of you. At last we shall become pure white. Good. Literally, as in the screen transitions into pure white, you know? Wiltshire. Miss Wiltshire. Frey, it's time for us to go. Where to? Stargazing, of course. Stargazing is a lie, Frey. Just like everything Umbrella Man said. No, everything's for real this time, promise? Promise. Come on, take my hand. Now let's leave this story together. Lead the way. Good. Okay, so I mean, yeah, stargazing is a lie, so that implies the endings for the second game never mean anything. Happy ending! Childhood's end! But not really. Save? Oh, sure, I'll save it over here. Okay, and that also changes the, the, title screen. Good. What happens if I load that? Oh, it just like gets stuck there. Okay, good. Anyway. This happens when you try to start a new story, by the way. Just screaming. And I don't know. I don't know what this means. But I assume, yeah. You start a new game without the world even existing, it's just this. It, I don't know if this is just an Easter egg, but it kind of implies, all the other students that exist in the house kind of just, that were on the second floor just kind of like walked out and this is just what happens. Maybe, I don't know. But then again, they were killed by the V19, right? Or I don't know, anyway. But they were reborn, right? Because that was like... Anyway. I don't know. Okay. Well, there you go. That's the two endings. Yeah, Yeah. I don't know if I can, like, explain it. Really. I don't know. But as I understand it, basically the entire world was created in Charles's mind. And, like, and it's very ambiguous. It could be, like, in a, you know, in a literal sense, as in it's like, you know, sci-fi, like science fiction with some psychological elements, where literally a world was born from his mind, and that's where all the characters came from, that's where the house comes from, and that's where all the bad things that happens because it stems from his traumatic past or whatever, right? And somehow the characters that came from his mind, because he's like father, right? Father, as in like the creators of all the characters in his mind. Some of them even become self-aware, you know, and that's what leads to the events of the game, and all the little like complicated little threads that happen. Really, are just like a representation of the deterioration of his own mind, I'm assuming, or it could be like really meta as well, because they always definitely they make references of how, like, you know, it's like a game and everything. They don't say it directly, but you know, it's like as if the game is just really a representation of the developer, really, you know, like putting a bunch of metaphors and symbolism into their own game to the puppeteers, which is us, the players. Now, puppeteers is really just a metaphor for players, I assume. Something like that. Maybe it's a mix of both. I don't know. It's very ambiguous. When you try to, like, understand the details, it just gets really complicated real quick. And I don't know if that's what you know, I don't know if that's intended. Anyway, it's hard to understand. Let's just, I assume this is a bonus room, so let's just talk to the characters. Hello, what's up? Etherane, the developer. Glad you're here. Special talent is avoiding social interaction, and passive is hyperfocus. Good. Anything else? No, that's it. Henrietta, the one who cared. She's very socially adept, and she has common sense compared to everyone else. Charles Eiler, the one with many regrets. Observation and cleaning. Vincent, the god of this world? Weird. Of his world, or this world, his world. Writing and charm. Henry Huxley, scientist and a doctor. Surgery using only a knife and a duct tape is his talent, and his skill is word vomit. Good. Aiden / Crampets, a loyal butler. Is good at taxidermy and can shapeshift. Florence, an enthusiastic worker. Good in engineering, she's very ripped, I guess. She has a six-pack. Good. Bennett, a dedicated worker, likes binge-watching TV shows, is a talent, and has high stamina. Felix, nephew, quote-unquote, you know, photographic memory, has talent, and has the power of sarcasm. Good. Scarlett Eiler, aka Charlotte Wilshire, the true protagonist of the first and second game, I'm assuming. She does her best, and she has high determination. The Oracle / Frey / 091. Okay, so it is confirmed that they are the same person, so the TV worlds, like the Charlotte from the TV world, turned out to be the Oracle that we always see in the other games. You know, she takes a different appearance, but actually she's just Charlotte. There's also Charlotte Wilshire V19, which I'm not sure if we ever, like, it's just implied from the second half of this game that she just, like, killed everyone or whatever, right? Very similar to Q84, but much more destructive. And I don't know if we ever see her all that much. You know, we don't really see her before she killed everyone, as far as I know. She's just another iteration of Charlotte that kind of like, you know, kicked off the events of Scarlet becoming Charlotte, I assume is what happened. But yeah, we don't know much about her, but she's the one that began it all. And also Umbrella Man / Charles / Seth. Well, yeah, Umbrella Man is weird because he's like a name taker, right? Assuming episode 2 was canon. But he also took Seth's name, so he took our name or something. He's very ambiguous. I don't know. What's the word? I don't know what the word is. He's very mysterious, basically. I still don't really know what I guess he just represents Charles's father, right? I don't know. But he's the entertainer. He's omnipotent and omniscient as well. Good. And here's Q84, the unwilling protagonist. Her talent is acting, and she has the power of snark. Wow. It's probably my favorite Charlotte, actually. I like the original Charlotte more than the the goody two-shoes Charlotte, actually. But anyway, I like Q84. She's the most amusing. Any items? Just have a diary. That's it. It's a gallery. Did I get everything? I think so. It says like 55 out of 55. So I assume that's all the pictures, and it just ends with this. I assume the world. I assume the true canonical ending is that the world breaks down, right, or something. He destroys the core of the world, and everything is destroyed, and that's represented as the game, corrupting. I guess. I'm surprised, that the game just doesn't simply uninstall itself or something. I don't know. Can I interact with this? There's the afterword. Okay, I assume they're the same. Alright, I'll just read it. Hello! Thank you for playing Hello Charlotte. When I began to work on this project, I didn't think much of it. Just like I didn't think I had a future to begin with. But somehow, over these 3 years of the game development, things changed for the better. I was able to come to terms with myself and found a place to belong. I still would deal with a lot of things, but somehow they became less heavy in my head. Somehow they don't seem as hopeless anymore. The final game is a tribute to a certain someone who didn't get a chance to be born in this world. I don't know. Is that like a real life thing, I wonder? Someone I came to both love and hate. Someone I wish existed anywhere and somewhere. In the end, Hello Charlotte was a personal story. In it, some events, namely deaths, were entirely metaphorical, some were so very real. I can only hope that this story was able to reflect the feeling of desperation and hopelessness over losing someone, and the despair for inability to bring them back no matter what. It's a feeling I've been living with for a long time, a feeling I constantly fear experiencing in the future that's to come. If you enjoyed the final episode even little, I'm glad. If you didn't, that's okay too. If you bought this game and not pirated, thank you for the support. Your input won't go to waste. Well, I did buy it, yes. It's pretty cheap, so, Thank you for visiting the house. Let's meet again in the future. Sincerely, etherane. Which I don't know if I'm pronouncing correct. Etherane? Yeah, and the game just deletes your computer. Good. But there you go. I think that's it. I don't know if there's anything else to do. The game even said, like, that's it, Yeah, it's like... even the game itself even said, like, it's not supposed to be, like, a satisfying ending necessarily, But... I don't know. I guess I can see it. Like, the developer even said, like, in afterward, there's definitely a lot of metaphors, right? I'm just thinking of the first and second game as well. Just a lot of symbolism about society, in general, mental health, anxiety. I don't know, a lot of things. I feel like, and but like, think of it as a game. It's like it's hard because like, I don't know. It's just very, very jumbled up. I don't know. I like it though. I don't know. It needs a secret dog ending. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. It needs a secret Mad Cat ending. That's what you mean. But anyway. But yeah, it's just a lot of things that happen. And it's like... I think part of it... I don't know. I'm not the developer, so I wouldn't really know. But I do feel like the first game... was definitely made in a way where the developer didn't really plan on making a second or third game. It's the I feel like it's the Hideo Kojima effect. Where they kind of didn't really know what they were gonna do with it, but then they ended up expanding on it as they made sequels, right? So I think that's kind of how I feel about the game, right? Where they just kept adding details upon details, which is fine. It's entertaining, but man, is it hard to understand, right? It's so... I don't know. And maybe the point is that you're not supposed to like have like a very coherent theory about everything, right? It's like you're not supposed to like understand it like Scarlet, right? Scarlet is like the person who's trying to rationalize everything. You're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be kind of this like weird like psychological horror kind of game where everything's kind of surreal, and again, everything is just born from Charles's mind, which is also probably like a metaphor for the developer as well, right? Because they mentioned how like a lot of it is like inspired by the real life too. I assume anyway. But yeah, that's what I think this game was trying to like achieve, And I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience. Obviously, anything I think what makes it not like what makes it not pretentious, I feel like, because this game could easily be super pretentious, you know, and like try to make itself more important, you know, make it seem more important than it is. But I think it avoids that, you know, by having some moments of levity, I think, you know, because there's some comedy moments as well. I mean, especially the scenes of Q84 and, you know, some other scenes in other games as well. Sometimes it just goes like really crazy and insane, and I like that, you know, like that sometimes it's just the characters just seem so silly and nonchalant sometimes when like really just horrible things happen. But it helps, you know, it helps with you know, sometimes even the game even mocks itself, right? So that helps it not be so pretentious, because it would be pretentious if it was that with like no like scenes to really I guess change it up, I guess, you know. If you keep the tone just depressing and dark the whole time, then I feel like it would be like really, you know, kind of difficult to you know, get into it, I feel like, right? I don't know. But that's why I like Q84 the most, actually. It's because she's just an insane psycho and she does like really, really horrible things, but with a smile, I guess. I don't know, I like that for some reason. I enjoyed it. Because it's like that contrast, right? With like just like, I don't know, someone being decapitated, but then everyone's like, hooray! You know, it's like, I don't know. That kind of like contrast is what creates the surrealism and everything, and makes it not, you know, just a horrible time. You know, I feel like the entire time anyway. I don't know, but yeah, I do like how like the game is like it breaks the fourth wall. You know, it like gets a little meta sometimes as well. I wish it kind of did more of the rewinding as well, you know, that'd be kind of cool. You know, the game like actually calling you out for doing like things like reloading just to see like other scenes and everything. That was kind of cool. They did a little bit in the beginning. I don't know if there was other Easter eggs where you could have done that more, but that was kind of cool. I wish there was more of that actually. But yeah. I mean, there's other games that kind of do that kind of thing, but you know, for me, you know, when a game breaks the fourth wall like that, that's, I don't know, I find that really interesting to me. But yeah, that was cool. I'm trying to do the right thing the right one in the wrong world. Number 2. 3 was interesting. I don't know. Again, I feel like the 1, 2, and 3, they kind of like, the games have different tones to them, you know? Or not tone, but like, they feel different because I feel like the developer, again, was just kind of like making them, you know? They were just kind of making them as they went, I guess, if that makes sense. They never planned the whole thing entirely, at least, in a very detailed way anyway. Maybe the characters would have been the same, but I don't really imagine, like, again, I could be completely wrong. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm completely wrong, but like, I don't think the developer actually planned on Charlotte being Scarlet or whatever, you know, from the very beginning. That was just kind of like a retroactive kind of thing, you know? Maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway. But yeah. Generally though, I do like the tone of the game, right? It's very definitely it's a psychological horror, but with comedy elements, I would describe it. You know, it has some comedy elements for, you know, I mean, especially the spin-off game Delirium. But that's what I like about it, you know. That kind of tone is what I like, and a lot of things. It kind of reminds me from my favorite manga, actually, Frankenfran. You know, it's kind of similar, where it's like really gory actually and horror stuff, like really horrible things happen, but it still keeps a sense of humor, which I like. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. So basically, yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. Like, Hello Charlotte, it's a really, I don't know, I don't want to say it's weird, because if you say weird, I feel like that's a cop-out. But it's definitely hard to, like, put the pieces together. But it's still an enjoyable ride, nevertheless. You know, that's what I feel about Hello Charlotte, you know, in my opinion. I mean, other than that, obviously I like the anime art style. You know, I'm a weeb, so I just like anime. So it's like, I like the art. And I also don't mind the RPG Maker engine, you know? I like playing RPG Maker games, generally, because they tend to be unique, right? And what else? The music is fine, too. I think I don't know about this game, but I know the second game, and I assume the first game definitely used a lot of public domain music, so... I think so. I'm not sure though, however, but I think that's one. I don't know the third game. There's some songs actually in the third game I like. I don't know if it's public domain or not, but definitely some of them I like. A few anyway. Yeah, I mean, anything else? I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just really, I don't know. I don't know basically I don't know what I expected, from the ending, and I don't know if it exceeded my expectations or not because I have no idea. I just like I don't know what it means. I have to think about it. I have to like sit down and think about it. Again, it really feels like like what is it supposed to? What is the the true message here? I don't know. Like no idea. But yeah. So it really feels like unlike again I mentioned before like many levels. Is it like super meta? Is it about like writing a story basically, or is it like really like actually about this weird eldritch being called Mother and also Charles and the memories born from him? And I don't know. Is it just interdimensional bullshit, or like is it like the moments before he dies, or I don't know. They keep mentioning like true realm and false realm, and I assume true realm means like real world or whatever. But I mean, it would have been interesting actually. I feel like it would have been interesting that actually this would have been like a sci-fi story where Charles didn't actually die, but rather for whatever reason, like it's still sci-fi, it's still like supernatural, I guess, but like for whatever reason, got imprisoned, in this like house infrastructure, I guess, and then his memories manifested into like all these characters, right, or something. I don't know. That would have been interesting to me, because I don't know within the alien, because it's really like that's the problem, right? Because if I believe that everything was just all made up, that's kind of disappointing, right? Because that means all these cool characters and the aliens, for example, then that means they don't really exist. They're just all made up. I mean, and again, maybe that's the point, because also it's a game, like in real life, like it's a video game, right? It's like, oh, even though these characters are, you want them to be real, but actually they're all fictional or something. Maybe that's the point. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta stop rambling. I'm just going in circles, I feel like. But yeah, hello, Charlotte. Very, very interesting experience. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah. Anything else I want to say? I guess that's it. I'm assuming there's nothing else to explore. Again, the game did say like there's nothing else to explore really. So I guess that's it for the Hello Charlotte trilogy. I mean, despite how confused I am, I actually did enjoy it, I guess. Did I enjoy it? I don't know. I think I enjoyed it. It's interesting, It's unique at the very least, I would say. And there you go. I guess I'll do my usual sign off. If you didn't know, I stream these games live on Twitch, so check me out over there if you're interested. I also have other playthroughs, the channel, so you can look for those if you want. I've basically done the whole Hello Charlotte trilogy. If whatever reason somehow you got here without watching the rest of it, or even playing it for yourself, I guess, I really encourage you to check out the rest of the playthrough. Or otherwise, I guess maybe check out some other games that are similar. Maybe I did play, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I mean, Amori is kind of similar. It's not exactly as surreal as this, but has a similar theme to it, I guess, Amori is pretty similar, so I did that recently anyway. And yeah, there you go. And I guess I'll just say thanks for watching. Until next time, see you then.